I was told there was no room for me at this year's family retreat, but 18 people were asked, including my in-laws, cousins from far away, and friends. I barely noticed. I didn't say anything. I just waited. The next thing that happened made my mom scream in front of everyone. "Hey Reddit, my name is Danielle Hart and I'm 31F, and I found out where I stand in my own family this year. We already know that it's somewhere between an unwanted guest and a mistake, but they still looked shocked when I didn't just sit back and take it. My family has always cared a lot about how they look. My parents always have a fancy summer getaway at our old lake house every year. This past weekend, we all wore similar shirts and planned group activities and posted photos on social media to make it look like we were all happy together as a clan. But behind the smiles and themed charcuterie boards is a web of loyalty so thick you could choke on it. I have 7 siblings, 5 girls and 2 boys. As a child, I was never the good kid. Olivia or Aaron might have been that person. It depended on who had the newest baby or the highest pay that year. I didn't ask for much. I didn't get into any trouble. I did well in school, and I moved out when I was young. I've always been pretty independent, maybe too much so. Apparently that makes it easy to forget things. As of last year, I began to notice the change. Olivia and her husband got the master bed, while I was given the air mattress in the laundry room. There were often just the right amount of play areas at meals for everyone except me. I tried not to be too upset about it, but this year was different. 2 weeks before the retreat, I texted my mom in the family group chat to check the dates, as I always do. I didn't hear back for 3 days. Finally, my mom said, "Hey, sweetie, we actually won't have enough space this year. It's already full. Maybe next time." I looked at the message and blinked. The lake house has 6 beds, a pull-out couch, and whenever they needed to, they could rent out extra cabins. I asked everyone who was going. My mom said something vague about the normal crowd and then didn't say anything else. I tried to let it go, but something felt off, so I waited. It was Friday noon, and by Friday afternoon, people were posting on social media. The first was a group picture from Olivia Lake House with the best crew having a great weekend. I saw 14 faces and then Aaron's post. "It's great to have everyone in one place. I got 32 again." Then there was a group fire pic from my cousin Rachel, and I quit keeping track. I realized by Saturday morning that I wasn't just left out. I had been purposely left out. Not just by my parents, but by every sibling, cousin, and in-law who showed up. People I grew up with. People I celebrated birthdays and graduations with. People who didn't mind posting group photos with fake captions like, "Wouldn't be a party without all of us." They invited 118 people, but I couldn't fit. I didn't answer any of the posts. I stayed in my room with the blinds closed and my phone on silent, letting the silence do its thing. I didn't cry. I didn't move at all after that. And something inside me, something cold, focused, and oddly calm, fell into place. My parents always thought I would be the calm, quiet, and gentle child who wouldn't cause trouble. But when people like me finally decide to do something, we do it completely. So, 9 hours later, I drove out to the lake house. I didn't text anyone or make any plans. I just fueled up my car with everything I needed and left. It took me almost 4 hours to get there. I parked my car 2 roads away so no one would see it. Then I walked through the woods behind the house without being seen, just like when we were kids sneaking in late after school. When I got there, the sun was going down, lighting up the garden in a golden hue. I could see them through the trees, the drink, the laugh, the glow of the string lights, and the smoke from the fire. There were tables with prepared food and kids with glow sticks running around, adults dancing to a music I helped make years ago. I walked right past them, not to join, but to do what I had to do. I won't go into all the details just yet. Let's just say that you can mess up an escape without hitting, yelling, or making a scene. They carefully planned the schedule, the look, and the image, but there are ways to bend it until it breaks. It wasn't hard at all. Some open group texts were written out and stuck to trees. The music and streaming stopped after a couple of well-planned Wi-Fi restarts. A very common family slideshow was changed to one that I had made myself by adding pictures of receipts. Family secrets that have been lost, and finally the big ending. As they were making their sunset toast, the fire alarm went off. That's when my mom screamed. That sound was like broken glass going through the air for a long time. She stood in the middle of the chaos, with a broken wine glass in her hand, while family members stared at her or awkwardly moved away. "Olivia?" My dad looked like he wanted to run away. It made her cry. Aaron was quiet. Everyone else was confused and looking for someone to blame. I, on the other hand, stood in the woods behind them, out of sight, and smiled. There are narcissists, backstabbers, and cowards in the room who are trying to be a family. When you pull the rug out from under them, they don't fall gracefully. They flail and scramble, and then they turn on each other. By the time I got back to my car, I could hear the chaos from the lake house like faraway thunder. Kids screaming, doors slamming, and cousins leading confused kids back to their cabins. I hadn't even touched them. I didn't yell, "Come in," or get in anyone's face. I held up a mirror, and they tore themselves apart so they wouldn't look. I didn't go home. I didn't go right away. Instead, I drove 15 minutes to a quiet hotel, checked in under my middle name, and watched the damage online from a white bed with blackout curtains. Watching a house of cards fall was like seeing something happen very slowly. Olivia wrote a hazy story about a family member betraying her. Aaron shared it, but then deleted it an hour later. Megan, my cousin, shared a meme about sticking to the truth even if it makes you feel bad. My mom didn't answer the phone. Her Facebook wasn't being used for the first time in years. No sunset group pics, no PJ shots that go together, nothing. I had 32 voicemails by Monday. Rachel wanted to know if I was okay. Megan said she had no idea what the slideshow was about, but that everyone was scared. Olivia sent me 2 tearful texts, one pleading with me to talk, and the other accusing me of ruining the one weekend a year when we all get together. Aaron never called. My dad left a short letter. "Call your mom." Not mad, just tired or scared. The most shocking one was my mom. She did not scream or yell. Instead, she said, "I don't know who you are anymore," in a low, slow voice. I laughed at that part. It was rich, not funny. She had no idea who I was. She finally admitted she didn't know me after years of acting like I wasn't there. Not the real me, not the one she told to be quiet, to be nice, and let the others shine. The person I used to be died when she told me there wasn't enough room for her own daughter and 118 other people. It took me 2 weeks to answer. I didn't answer a single message or call back. I went back to work, read, wrote in my book, and took deep breaths. Then I drove out to their house on a Wednesday night. When my mom opened the door, her eyes were big. Making up got blurred around the edges. It looked like she hadn't slept in days. "You actually came," she said quietly. I didn't say anything. We sat at the dining table, the same one they used for every holiday and every birthday. My dad was sitting behind her in the living room with a drink that wasn't wine. I stared at the empty seat where my name never showed up on the place cards, and where my chair was always the last one to be brought out of the garage. My mom tried to speak first, but I spoke up instead. "I told you. You don't get to talk first." I told them everything because her lips were pressed together. I noticed the little things that were left out every year. I was always the one who had to make room to give up in order to adapt. They made me feel like a guest in my own family over time. And then, how they finally took me off completely this year. My mom tried to cut me off, but I didn't stop. I told them about the group chat where Olivia and Aaron made fun of me for being too quiet to have fun at parties. The texts that said I probably wouldn't come anyway, and that it would be better without me. I read each line out loud. Dad took a look at his hands. My mother just looked ahead. I told them how it made me feel to see people I loved and grew up with, helped move apartments for, and sent baby gifts to all laugh and smile while acting I didn't exist. There was no one there to defend me. I then told my mom, You didn't forget about me. You didn't want me to be there." She had tears in her eyes. She opened her mouth, but I put up my hand again. "Before you ask, yes, I did that video. The text messages, pictures, and bills, I didn't cheat, lie, or come up with anything new. I just stopped protecting people who wouldn't even save me a chair." It was very quiet for a long time. Finally, my mom said in a whisper, "You made us look bad in front of the whole family." To which they replied, "No," I said, "you looked bad." I walked out and didn't look back after pressing play. Since then, things have changed. I've gotten a few sincere explanations, not fake ones. Megan sent me a private message and said she had seen how I was treated but never said anything. Jake, my cousin, called and said he felt bad about what he did. I have a quiet sister named Amanda. She told me she liked what I did and wished she had been brave enough to do something years ago. But what changed the most was my silence. I've taken a break from family conversations, holiday plans, and trying to fit into places I'm not wanted. I no longer chase invitations, beg to be seen, and shrink myself so others can shine brighter. For the first time in my life, I didn't feel left out. I felt free. My mother may not understand who I am now, but I do. No longer had to beg to sit at a table where I wasn't welcome, no longer having to change myself into someone softer, easier, or more acceptable. It wasn't anger that I felt when I left. It was clarity that I knew the years of silence they gave me were never peace. Now I have it on my own terms.